I'm just chatting with my photojournalist Ray right here. Let me get this point of view right here, Ray. Yeah, so you have one row, then it looks like a second row. That's the grocery store right there that we're told this situation happened outside. It looks like you're still able to get into that grocery store. So the secured scene, to my point of view right here, isn't like
welcome everyone. Yes, thank God I still have power. I still have lights, heat. The bad weather is still quickly approaching. How you doing, Greg, Ollie, A. Jones, Dorian, all who are here? Thank you. Thank you. So look at the title. All we know, this is still fairly recent. This happened this morning. 37-year-old man reportedly that is an American citizen. So let's listen. This is where it happened.
Right here, it appears to me. Right there, you have federal agents against Hennepin County Sheriff. So I'm unsure of the sheriff's office role at this point. I'm unsure. Let me move away from that megaphone so you can hear me a little more. We're unsure of if they are just re-upping that tape or if they're working to move the line back. And this is what we're seeing right here. We have the agents right there and then bystanders talking to them, with just one line in between. It looks like two people being escorted by agents out. And I'm just going to take a pause for a quick second so Ray, our photojournalist, can kind of show you this as it unfolds. I'll step back and just kind of do a little more narration as we can. Why don't we, Ray, just give the viewers a quick point of view, just a big scan of what's going on here.
Yeah, so Greg, we know the AP, Associated Press, they're the ones who shared that information. So we know Greg is saying he's 51-year-old armed illegal from Honduras. Okay. So this is still a developing story. So if you hear something, drop it in the comment section.
While we're here, boots on the ground, Reg, I'll send it back to you. And we're just trying to learn more. And we'll see if you have any other information there in the studio.
Thank you, Frankie. CBS News has confirmed that the Department of Homeland Security has said that the suspect did have a gun. As well as 2 magazines were at the scene. They are tweeting a picture to CBS News that the suspect allegedly had a gun and 2 magazines. And that's what we found out by CBS News has confirmed that from the Department of Homeland Security. We've also heard from Governor Walz, who did say that he has confirmed there has been another shooting by a federal law enforcement officer here in the city of Minneapolis. That shooting happened near 27th and Nicollet Avenues, not far from downtown, in front of the Good Grocer. We are expecting to hear from Border Control Captain Greg Bovino. His press conference was originally stated for 11 o'clock this morning. It has now been pushed to noon. We're expecting to hear more from him. We will have a crew there to get his remarks about what is happening right now near 27th and Nicollet Avenues. The city of Minneapolis has put out a tweet asking people to remain peaceful. For the people who are there at the scene, they're asking others to avoid that area if at all necessary right now, because there's so much going on there. They're asking for people to avoid that area and for crowds there to use their First Amendment rights, but also do that peacefully. All this is happening a day after thousands of protesters merged into downtown Minneapolis during the Ice Out, a scheduled event, and other events across the city where members of the clergy and people from all over the country came to.
Let me pause this. So yes, hey, Livy boy, everything is good. I hope you're great. I hope all of you are warm and no one is experiencing any power outages. So it's still on the way. Minnesota, Lord Tarakan, how are you? Yeah, it's a mess. I will be on screen. I need to go out and move the truck because it's up under the tree. I need to move it under the carport. These people are more. Yeah, so I'm going to let this play and then I'm going to go do everything I need to do. Let me look out the window and see. It has not started, but it will start any moment now. But yeah, and again, we said this, folks. We don't want anyone to lose their lives, but smarten up, right? And we need to find out, how you doing, Patriot, what he was doing, because initially we're always given this sad story about how, you know, they were just killed for no reason and they didn't do anything wrong. Yes, Livy boy. Yes, love. This happened, yes, today. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you, Lord Tarakin. If you hit the like button, if you share the stream out on your social media pages, we could get 100 people in here. Yeah. Thank you so much. So let me get this started again, and let me continue to run around here before the storm starts.
Express their discontent with ICE in our communities. That happened yesterday. It was a very peaceful event, and now this is happening now near 27th and Nicollet Avenues. We do know that there has been a shooting by a federal law enforcement agent there at that scene. It is a very chaotic scene. There are protesters there. They are blowing their whistles and a lot of profanity. That's what Frankie Mellister was telling us, being very careful with the audio in that area. If you look, you're seeing video there of the federal agents. We are told from HSI, Border Patrol, and ICE are also on that scene. Hennepin County Sheriff deputies are there trying to control the crowds, trying to keep people peaceful as they exercise their First Amendment rights. Once again, we did hear from Governor Walz, who did confirm that there is a shooting there by a federal law enforcement agency. We don't know exactly the condition of the person who was shot. We do not know the condition of the person who was shot right now, but CBS News has confirmed that there was a gun and 2 magazines on the suspect at the time of the shooting, and they are tweeting pictures of that to CBS News at this hour, telling us that that suspect who was shot by a ICE agent is actually had a gun in his possession, as well as 2 magazines. Once again, the crowds are growing there outside the Good Grocer there at 27th and Nicollet Avenues. We do have a reporter at the scene. We will have another reporter at a briefing by Greg Bavino that's scheduled for 12 o'clock to hear exactly what he has to say about this, what seems to be the 3rd shooting here in our city by a federal law enforcement agency of someone who is a Minneapolis resident. So lots going on right now. We're getting information in just constantly. People are showing up at the scene, but the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and for those who are there to remain peaceful. Try to remain peaceful as you exercise your First
Greg, that's all he does is lie.
Are those federal officers on standby? As Frankie Mellister told us, they do have chemical irritants ready to deploy. Right now, the crowds are remaining behind the yellow tape, and that's a good thing. They do not want any interaction with the crowd as they investigate exactly what led up to the shooting and what is going on there now at the scene. Once again, the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and to remain peaceful if you are there. As Frankie was telling us earlier, a lot of people are just showing up. They're hearing about this. There are a lot of people on patrol with those whistles. We're hearing a lot of those whistles in the background. People are blowing the whistles at the ICE agents who have joined HSI agents as well as agents of the Border Patrol. They're forming a perimeter around that area, trying to keep that scene safe as investigators move in to try to figure out exactly what happened. As you can see there, I think that tape goes all the way from 27th, possibly to 25th Avenues there.
My girls, hello, love. So a man was killed. So conflicting story. This is a developing story. So if I give you some erroneous information, it's changing. I don't know what's true. We were told he was a Minnesota resident, American citizen. However, Greg said that Waltz lied and that he was a Honduran, I think. So, and it's still developing. So we'll have to find out. It's a mess.
There on Nicollet, making sure that the crowds stay back while they investigate exactly what's happening. Once again, if you're just joining us, breaking news, the Governor Walz has tweeted that he is aware of another shooting by a federal law enforcement agency in.
Also, I just got an alert. So Walz is, he has the Minnesota National Guard. This is not going to end well, folks. So I think he has, the last report I received, let me see, AP, he's sending in the National Guard. He has activated the National Guard. So this is a whole mess. And as I'm talking to you, as I get alerts, I will share them with you.
Minneapolis, inner city Minneapolis, South Minneapolis this time, near 27th and Nicollet Avenue, in front of the Good Grocer there. As you can see the video there on your screen, crowds are...
Thank you, my girls. But you know, sometimes when a story is breaking and things change, I have people leaving nasty comments. You're a liar and you need to get your facts straight. But I'm constantly saying this is an ongoing situation. Information changes. But thank you, my girl. You understand because you have more than 2 brain cells. So you understand. But thanks so much. I see the ICE press conference. Yeah, Greg. Oh, my God. It's coming up here.
Growing, and federal agents are forming a perimeter around that area, trying to maintain the sanctity of that scene while they investigate exactly what is happening. Lots going on right now near 27th and Nicollet. Once again, the city is asking people to avoid that area if all possible. If you are there, to be peaceful. If you are there protesting at this hour. Once again, CBS News has confirmed that the suspect did have a gun. The individual, we'll call him an individual, had a weapon at the scene with 2 magazines there. They are tweeting pictures to CBS News that this is what that individual had on him that was shot at this hour. Right now, crowds are growing outside of the Good Grocer there near 27th and Nicollet. We see a lot of federal agents on the scene. We also see Hennepin County deputies there trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the people who are there blowing their whistles and screaming at ICE agents at bay while they investigate exactly what happened. We do see HSI agents, Border Patrol, and ICE agents on the scene. Photojournalist Ray Campos there at the scene giving us that live look. As you see, they're in force. We believe about 3,000 of those agents are in Minnesota at this time. They were sent here for Operation Metro Surge, and that's been going on about 6 or 7 weeks right now. More than 3,300 people have been arrested, we're told, but CBS News and WCCO has not been able to independently confirm that those numbers are correct. But we are told from DHS that 3,300 people have been arrested during this Operation Metro Surge. All of this is happening
now, my girls, it will start any minute now. So I was out running around. I bet that suspect wished he would have stayed in his country now. At least he would still be alive. Yeah. So these people are out there provoking some of these incidences. And so again, let me say this because people get in the comment section, you know, those keyboard warriors. We don't want anyone to be shot. We don't want anyone to die. But folks, some decisions that you make, you're not able to recover from. And that is, you know, it is what it is.
Day after thousands of people descended upon our city in Minneapolis, taking place in an ice out. The biggest of those events started at the Commons outside of US Bank Stadium and went all the way to Target Center, where there was a rally that went on for most of the afternoon. We have another reporter on the scene. Our Adam Duxter is there live near 27th and Nicollet. Adam, if you can hear me, what's going on there?
All right, so
and you can see that cloud. That is not fog, that is tear gas, and that has pushed a lot of this crowd back. I can tell you, sorry, that it hurts to breathe out here. And this is when we have seen some of the largest clashes with these federal agents and the people on the scene. As you can hear, more chemical agents being deployed is when a scene like this happens, Reg. As you hear more chemical agents being deployed, we see these large clashes when they try and get these crews out of the scene. Again, you can just see it. You could see this cloud. And I could tell you that at 26 and Nicollet, it is hard to breathe. You can see state patrol on the scene. You see these buses. And you can see they sent a number of state troopers in all at once, presumably for crowd control. But you could just hear more of those chemical agents being used right now. And I could tell you there's maybe 100 to 200 people who are on the corner of 26th and Nicollet attempting to get closer. and then these tear gas and whatever chemical agents that they're using were deployed. You can just hear these bangs after bangs, and honestly, Reg, I'm worried for Frankie and Ray. They're basically on the other side of this block. I'm not sure what they're seeing right now, but I can tell you that Minnesota State Patrol is on the scene and presumably assisting with crowd control. But you can just see that cloud right there.
Wow.
And I can tell you, Reg, that if anyone is in that cloud right now, they are hurting because even from a distance, the tear gas, it burns everywhere inside of you, Reg. But again, there are reinforcements, so to speak, on the scene. We know it was federal agents on the scene this morning. You know, presumably, you don't want to speculate, but doing some sort of efforts. But now you have local authorities. Again, Minnesota State Patrol, you see the state trooper trucks there. And you could just see that haze right there, Reg. And also, not worth, forgetting, Reg, that it is blistering cold outside. Even a few minutes outside, it is very, very cold for anyone right now. But again, it was just a moment ago as we were walking up, they deployed those chemical agents and it dispersed much of the crowd. We'll try and get a little bit closer. Obviously, we want to stay out of harm's way ourselves. But Reg, I can tell you that the reinforcements, so to speak, on scene wasted no time. And they're trying their best to clear out any crowd that is here at the moment.
Thank you, Adam Dutcher, on the scene there. Be careful out there and make sure you catch your breath. Those chemical irritants are really.
And welcome, Marcia Mello, Miss Connie, everyone who's joining us. How you doing? Carl Roth. The story deflects the public from when it just happened with the deficit numbers and the unemployment numbers and the interest rate numbers. This is what the government does when okay, how you doing, Carl? So yeah, and I'm live today. I came on. I wanted to let you all know because I did a live video last night. If I am not on tomorrow, my normal time, we are any minute now here where I live. Inclement weather will be starting. And so if I am not on tomorrow, it is because I have lost power, internet, something like that. How you doing, Roberto? Welcome to the live chat. All of you, if you will hit the little thumb, the like button, and if you're enjoying the content, also, please hit the subscribe button. Let us know if you do that. We'll be glad to give you a nice, warm Rolynn's Reviews welcome.
Bad, and they've been deployed, as you said, by members of the Minnesota State Patrol. There, the city of Minneapolis did send out information asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and asking for the protesters who were there exercising their First Amendment rights to be very peaceful. Let's go to Frankie Mellister, who's also boots on the ground. He's on the other side of where those chemical irritants were being deployed. Frankie, what's going on now?
Yeah, Reg, so we're just south of where Adam is. We're at 27th and Nicollet, but I'm going to step out and show you right here as Ray Campos behind the camera shows you. Agents are coming from where Adam was, and as you could hear Adam, and I hope he's doing okay up there, he was breathing in some chemical irritants. So we're seeing a lot of those agents move from north there, south, where exactly we are. We're told that the incident happened around where we're standing right now. There's a grocery store that we're hearing the incident occurred nearby, and that grocery store is right here on the corner of Nicollet Avenue and 27th Street. So you hear the folks chanting, and I'm going to try and speak louder as that is happening. They're chanting shame, and they're saying that as these agents kind of just walk south in this area. You're seeing agents right there from Border Patrol. We're also seeing some Hennepin County sheriffs, as we've been mentioning all morning long. But as I've been here, we're noticing also those Hennepin County sheriffs are kind of on the outskirts of the scene. And it seems like just trying to secure and protect what's going on. Ray is shooting to your...
Those of you just joining us, if you focus, if you see where the police tape, the yellow police tape, so that's where the shooting happened behind that area. They're trying to keep that secured. Mayor, how you doing, love? So that's where, and of course, this is continuing to escalate. And those of you just joining us, I just got an alert. Tim Walz just activated the Minnesota National Guard. So this is he just activated the Minneapolis National Guard. So this is not good. This situation is continuing to escalate.
Our east right there. So as I'm going to back up because we know that there's some profanity as people are upset out here. But you're looking east right there. There are some agents that are standing by on 27th Street East there, as Ray shows you now the intersection of 27th Street and Nicollet Avenue. We have not seen any chemical irritants be deployed here as they have been.
Welcome, Lord Spike Protein. If you are new here, let us know so we can give you a nice, warm Rolynn's Reviews welcome.
And where Adam is just north of there. But I'll tell you, as we get closer, maybe, do you want to kind of show them what it looks like up there? I got you. Ray's up on a hill trying to give you a good point of view there. But as we walk right up to the line right here, you can see that they have chemical irritants in hand. And we're going to watch and be careful, our crew. I'm just going to move you out of the way, man, right here. You can see right there that they are ready to deploy them if need be. We're seeing the amount of agents grow. We're also seeing the crowd of agents grow as time goes by. This tape line that you're seeing right here has been extended more and more since we've got here. We've probably been here about an hour or so. And I do want to reiterate what Adam said. It is bitter cold out here. And this comes just a day after that thousands took the streets of downtown Minneapolis chanting their words against the federal agencies. We just asked Border Patrol Vivino a few days ago how many agents remain in our area, and he said that there were thousands still. He did not say that he would give us any specific number either. So right here, you're looking at the corner of 27th and Nicollet. We haven't.
Okay, every time we have a new person to join the Rolynn's Reviews family, you know what we do. You know what to do, folks. Everyone, welcome Lord Spike Protein. Welcome to the family. We are glad you are here. So everyone send Lord Spike Protein some hearts and welcome him to the family. We're glad you're here.
Seen any chemical irritants be deployed here. There are some agents in the vehicle there. There are some, obviously, that you're looking at just standing on guard outside. We're seeing folks come out here with signs. We're seeing folks come here from all different neighborhoods. I've spoken with one that traveled here the second they heard of the incident that happened out here. We know that Governor Walz confirmed on social media that there was a incident. There was a shooting involving.
And let's be transparent, folks. We know these people feel emboldened because listen to what the Minnesota Congress people have said. Listen to what the Democrats have said. And so they feel they can do anything. And we don't want anyone to lose their life. I've done videos on that. People are losing eyeballs and testicles and all kinds of things. FAFO. Tom Homan told all of us from the very beginning to stay out of the way. Even when all of these Democratic governors over all these sanctuary cities, no, we're not helping you. You're not welcome here. He said, okay, fine. Stay out of the way. Can I get an amen in the comment section? Tom Homan has been saying that from day one. They've done everything but stay out of the way. And then when something horrible happens, we didn't do anything wrong. These mean, evil ICE agents, these federal agents, they did this and they did that. And then we get the truth. Just like we hate that Renee Good was killed, but remember, we were told initially, no, she was just asking for direction. She wanted to know where she was going. No, you had been there for a long time, impeding the progress of ICE. And Trump came out and told us that the agent, she was hit by his car and he had internal bleeding. So stop with the lies. Everything they tell us is a lie. How you doing, Miss Prosperity?
Federal agents right here in Minneapolis, and that right there, you just saw a bystander throwing snow, and as you see right there, chemical irritants being held up at least by one agent. Ray, let's go ahead and show this point of view right there. Agents are looking to move back. So as this unfolds, it looks like people are running, and we are gonna. Fuck you, bitch. Ray. Yeah, we're gonna move back. Stay on with us. Stay on with us. I'm watching out for Ray, my colleague. Ray, I got you right here. Let's move back. Let's move back because agents ended up charging out. They're gonna keep going, so we're just gonna move. Thanks for staying with us, guys. We're okay. I want to reiterate, we are okay. Ray's trying to give you the best point of view. We are moving west, and this is where agents ended up coming. So are you okay? Let's move this way. This is the only safe way to go.
You're not blocked, Beverly. If you're typing something and it's not popping up, that is YouTube. I think Maga Tamara told me sometimes she tries to type something, but it's not on my end. If something is blocked, that is YouTube at work again. How you doing, Ruby? If you type certain words, they will not let them go through, Beverly, if that makes sense. But not, it's not. I never see you type anything wrong, so I don't know what the heck they're doing. Robert, we don't have details on what caused the shooting. However, he was armed to the teeth, so he wasn't there to eat cookies and drink milk.
Can they see us and hear us? Okay. Reg, I just want to show you, we talked about earlier, this is what we were talking about between these clashes between people who are out here and federal agents, as we've moved in significantly since you last saw us where the tear gas was deployed. And two federal agents, U.S. Border Patrol, came back to get that silver SUV you see right there, and were immediately met with the crowd. You see.
Quick update for those just joining us. A man, we were told initially that he was an American man. Now, I don't know, because the other reports are saying that he was a Honduran, but he had lots of you-know-what and ammunition. So, again, why was he there with that? It's not going to end well. Come on. Hit the like button for me, folks, and share out the stream. I appreciate you so much.
Everyone, Reg, in those high-vis vests, I do believe that is Minnesota State Patrol that is out here, again, helping to work with crowd control. We've heard from them in the last few weeks saying that they're going to be here potentially assisting, and that if you see any of their deputies with Minnesota State Patrol, they would be wearing those high visibility. As you hear another boom off in the distance, you can see, Reg, if we zoom in all the way, this is a sense we're coming up on the intersection of 26th and Nicollet, and that would be the intersection of 27th and Nicollet, as you start to see just
we want a border jumper. Hello, how you doing, Jackie? How are you? If these people get harmed, it is terrible, but they are interfering in law enforcement, and FAFO, boom. Jackie, yes, that's what Tom Holman warned these people from day one. He warned all of us, and they have ignored his warning.
Here, but this is where we've seen some of the most significant clashes as these people are going to attempt to block the path of these vehicles. And again, this is where you worry, as I'm going to try and get really
they're trying to stop ICE, and some of these people, again, I looked up their crimes. Thank you, Roberto. I mean, essaying 10, 11-year-old girls and some other horrible things I should not mention here on YouTube. And this is who they are protecting. Make it make sense.
With federal agents on certain scenes where people will bash in these windows, and then the federal agents will come out and deploy tear gas or pepper spray. But again, Will, I want you to see this, Will, as Will is showing who's inside that vehicle there. Will. We're seeing now people walk up on this line. Will, to your left. Will, to your left. Now they're walking back people, Reg. You see it right now. And this is where, again, you start to worry about people's safety and the potential for a clash. We have State Patrol walking.
They're walking up on them.
People, these are actually conservation officers. You can see it on their vests. Will is getting right up to one right now. And again, they're trying to get these vans through, but this crowd is doing everything they can to block it. They're trying their best to do a semicircle as you hear these shouts of shame. They're trying to get these vans through, Reg, but you really worry about people clashing with
public safety
here on the scene.
An ambulance needs to get through, and they have everything blocked off.
That these law enforcement are now walking backwards and attempting to set up some more of a perimeter. Again, this is crowd control, Reg. And this is people who are very, very, very upset clashing right now. Again, I believe these are with conservation officers that are out here, and they're out here, as you can see, Reg. They've got the full kit on, if you will. And again, Reg, I'm not sure if they're going to deploy more chemical irritants. We saw that happen.
They've already deployed chemical irritants. These people will not. Do you think I would be in these sub-zero, these freezing temperatures? No way.
Reg, and we apologize for the profanities over the air. But again, this is a very, very, very tense scene, Reg. As you see people walking right up to the line here.
Adam, the city of Minneapolis is also tweeting, asking people to avoid that area near 27th and Nicollet if all possible. And they're asking the protesters who are on the scene now to remain peaceful.
Yeah, right.
This has been their message from the beginning.
And they are not remaining peaceful.
They want those who are protesting to remain peaceful while exercising their First Amendment rights. If you are just joining us, we are on the scene near 27th and Nicollet Avenue, where a federal agent has shot one individual. We are being told that Governor Walz knows about this as well, and he is tweeting that he knows that a federal agent has shot a man near 27th and Nicollet, and that's why Frankie Mellister is there. Frankie, were there chemical irritants being released where you were at?
Reds, there were, and there's actively some. So we're going to continue to keep watch right here. My man, Ray Compass, behind the camera. We have a security agent with us, too. The three of us just trying to do the best we can.
Tijuana, and all the Somalis and other illegals are inside, safe and warm, eating off their EBT cards in their free Section 8 housing, laughing at all those protesters. Boom. Good point, Tijuana border jumper. Lord Spike. Where do they live? Where do they come from? We know George Soros. We know Spike, you're in the right place. You know who's funding this crap. Who is this burnt piece, bitter chocolate sounding like a Baltimore cream maker? I don't know. Hit that like button, folks. I hope you're enjoying this. This is crazy.
Ken, while this unfolds, we have seen different chemical irritants be deployed, pepper balls, because what we saw was occurring was an individual, a bystander, through a...
We're doing all of this, and as Tijuana just told us, the people they're doing it for, the scammers who scammed us into oblivion, they're home eating food off of their EBT cards, living in Section 8 housing. Make it make sense.
Chunk of snow at an agent. And let's move back, Ray. We're just going to move back a little more. We're on 27th. Ray's going to try and do his best to show you what it looks like we're doing right here. I'm going to ask some of these community members their plans. What are your plans with these right here? What are your plans with these? Just to kind of block off the road. It seems like that's what they are trying to do. Many very upset out here. We're on 27th Avenue, 27th Street, one of the two. Be careful there, Ray. West. You're looking at Nicollet. This is the area. Adam was on the north side. We're on the south side of Nicollet. And what we know thus far.
So where you see the police tape, and there was a scuffle between someone and several agents. Patriot, surprise, Google hasn't shut down. Not yet, Patriot.
From what we've heard is the incident occurred earlier at this intersection. So you're looking at kind of the area that this video that has gone viral this morning and bringing more and more folks out to this part of Minneapolis. As Governor Walz confirming online that there was a shooting involving federal agents, CBS News continually working to find out more about the specific situation itself. You can learn more on our website as this unfolds on WCCO.com. And we are just continually working to kind of see, and this is how fast things change out here, guys. Now you see it's a little calmer. There's not really much ruckus up in the air. You might hear some profanity. Ray, let's kind of show right behind here. So we're west.
Yes, how you doing, Boss Chick? Yes, Martian, Mellow, and all of you. If you type something and it won't go through, that is YouTube censoring. I am not censoring anyone. It happens to Manga tomorrow all the time. Yes, Martian, Mellow, you know how they are. But yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy.
On what was this, 27th, I believe, 27th in Nicollet. This is where everybody kind of pushed back. Ray showing you the perspective of where community members kind of came. And those irritants, guys, when they are deployed, you breathe them in and they get in your lungs, and they're kind of hard to get out of your lungs and your breath as just time unfolds. And as things get more intense, you don't know where other pepper balls are being sprayed to, and where things are going to continue to get more intense and not. What we did see is right there, you're looking at the intersection again, Nicollet and 27th. There's more and more agents there. This is the most probably biggest group of agents I've seen since we've been out here. And I'd say we've been out here probably about an hour or so. We know that chemical irritants, where my man Adam Duxer is, right on the north side of Nicollet. He's at 26 in Nicollet, right south of downtown Minneapolis. We're in the Garfield neighborhood. There are things being thrown over there. So agents are running this way. Just want you to know that, Ray. We saw more, and they're coming. They are coming. Ray, be careful right there, man. And what I witnessed before the agents just started to come up a little more was I saw some more snow being thrown. So watch out, dude.
Frankie, we're just hearing that the individual who was shot by the federal agent has died. We are just now learning that the individual.
Yeah, and we said that. And look at those, I don't know, pepper balls, and they're still out there. So
a little over an hour ago, near 27th and Nicollet, in front of the Good Grocer, we are just learning that the individual who was shot by federal agents here in Minneapolis has died. Earlier, we did learn from DHS. They said that that individual had a gun and 2 magazines, and now we are learning that that person who was shot by a federal agent near 27th and Nicollet has died. We do want to apologize for the profanity that you were hearing.
And, you know, I don't use profanity, but, you know, since we've been covering these riots, all of us have heard. I mean, and that's just how they talk. So I apologize too, but they are, they're saying and doing the most.
Because this is a very fluid type of situation.
Scott,
the crowds are growing. Even though the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible. They are asking the people who are there exercising their First Amendment rights to protest, do so peacefully. But as Frankie Melissa was saying, that they saw some of those people out there throwing chunks of snow or ice at those federal agents. That's why chemical irritants have been deployed. We have Adam Duxer on the north side of the incident on Nicollet Avenue, and Frankie on the south side, and both have experienced chemical irritants being used to control the crowds. We also see members of the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, as well as people from the State Patrol, as well as conservation officers there trying to control the crowd. Our Adam Duxer is there, boots on the ground. Adam, what's going on now?
Yeah, Reg, it's essentially a standoff now between this line of conservation officers and this crowd. I want Will to turn around and give you an idea of the size of this crowd right now. And more people are showing up by the moment. And there's people who have come here essentially, Reg, on a moment's notice. I wanted to talk to one person. Tell me, what brought you out here this morning to be here in person?
After hearing about what happened this morning, I decided I had to come out because of the shooting that just recently happened. We need to show ICE that this can't keep happening to our people, the people of Minnesota, and we're not going to stand for it.
We're on 26th and Nicollet. This is Eat Street. This is a vibrant part of our community. And you're looking out right now. at this, how would you describe just the way you're feeling right now when you see what you're seeing on the street?
It's a mix of heartbreak, and it brings a sense of community together to see all these people that have decided to come out. But it is heartbreaking that we have to keep doing this in order to get justice for what's right.
Are you worried about chemical agents and chemical irritants?
Yes.
We saw the crowd get tear gas a moment ago.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I hope everyone can continue to mask up. I mean, we don't have what they have to protect ourselves.
If you were to want people who are watching at home right now to know one thing, what would you want them to know?
I would tell them to keep using their voices and speak out and continue to, if they're able to, come outside and show what we stand for here.
What's your name?
Regina.
Are you from here in Minneapolis?
Yes, I'm from St. Paul.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it. Stay safe and stay warm. And Reg, that is what you're hearing from so many people here, as it's essentially devolved into a standoff with these conservation officers out here right now. As you mentioned, Regina, as we see more chemical agents now being deployed over on this other side, just to the east of us in this neighborhood here. We're going to try and get a little closer and see if there's a clash there. Again, people are going around the side as you're just hearing a bang and a boom out here, essentially every other minute at this point. But you saw part of the crowd leave where we were standing with the conservation officers, and now you see more chemical agents being deployed here, essentially trying to drive people. This is just east of Nicollet and 26, Reg, down an alley. I'm not sure what maybe led to this, but you hear these whistles going. I'm going to try and find someone, Reg, that maybe saw what potentially led up to this, and talk with them. Did you see what happened just there?
The shooting itself?
No, just now in this alley.
Popping smoke or whatever else.
Who's down there? Did you see?
I believe it's ICE. That's what some people are saying.
And so just another conflict. I'll let you catch your breath. Reg, again, we're hearing just people who say they feel like they have to be here. They have to show up. Again, it's very, very cold outside. It is dangerously cold outside. And you can hear just the frustration in people's voices. But again, this was, just about a half block east in this alley where, excuse me, Reg, as I'm breathing in some of these.
He's breathing it too.
Something happened here, and it kind of drew the main attention away from.
Yes, Mayor.
A second, and you've got people who are here, Reg, just looking for some sort of way to do something. And again, they're met with these chemical agents and this tear gas and these chemical irritants. As we walk you right back over here to essentially what you want to call the main standoff. This is on the north side again. If you're just tuning in, we're just
Roberto. He does sound sympathetic to the protesters. I agree with you.
At this line, essentially, of conservation officers who are essentially standing off right now with people in the crowd. I will say that there hasn't been any clashes, if you will, between these conservation officers and anyone in this crowd. We did see a moment ago as they're attempting to bring more vehicles into this scene. There were some very tense moments where it didn't look like they were going to be able to get through, and they're thinking about more clashes or more chemical agents being deployed. But you can see this is where we're looking, Reg. 26 in Nicollet. And again, this is just over 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 3 days after federal agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good. It has sent so much more people here to the front lines, if you will. So many more people feeling like they need to show up for themselves.
Yeah, we know this guy's definitely left leaning. Listen to this cupcake.
And be active themselves. We saw yesterday thousands and thousands and thousands of people in downtown Minneapolis on the coldest day of the year so far, just trying to make their voices heard. And not even 24 hours after that, again, we know that a federal agent has shot and killed another person. And Reg, we know that there's 3,000 federal agents in town already. They've been touting the thousands and thousands of arrests that they've been making since Operation Metro Metro surge began the first week of December, but you're also seeing the strife now of a community and just the frustration and heartbreak of a community.
Every time we're covering these live events, we're very used to the biased reporting, all left leaning,
if you will. Again, one of those shootings is fatal. Actually, two of those shootings now we know were fatal, and we're gonna continue to monitor what we're seeing here, Reg. But again, it's such a tense scene here on the north end of where the shooting happened.
Live near 26 and Nicollet. Adam, thank you for that update. We are also talking about the individual who was shot has died. We also have some video that is circulating on social media that shows what led up to this shooting. We want to warn you, this could be very graphic and upsetting for some of our viewers. The video shows a bunch of federal agents actually having an altercation with the individual on the ground. You can see one of the agents come in, they are punching the man, and then all of a sudden you hear gunshots. We're not exactly sure where those gunshots came from, but the crowd erupts after that happens. And like you see, once again, there's an altercation between that individual on the ground near 27th and Nicollet. Several officers on top of this individual. They are punching on him, and then you hear shooting and profanity. That is a video that is circulating on social media. It's been given to us, and we are sharing it with you as we learn more about what is exactly happening there and what happened at 27th and Nicollet. We're told that at 11:30 there will be a briefing by Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Since Operation Metro Surge began, they have been asking protesters and crowds to remain peaceful, and they will continue to do that again at 11:30 to briefing and talk more about this federal agent allegedly shooting an individual, and that individual, as we have learned, has died from his injuries. We do have several reporters on the ground. Adam Duxter is on the north side of where the incident unfolded, and Frankie McLister is on the south side of where this incident unfolded. We did hear from DHS, who wrote into CBS News and showed pictures saying that the individual who was shot and is now dead had a gun and 2 magazines on his person. They are also tweeting pictures of that to show that he did have a gun and 2 magazines. We did just show you this video that was given to us here at WCCO showing those agents on top of that individual. Punches are being thrown by federal agents, and then the sound of gunshots. The crowd erupts with a lot of profanities, but as you see right there on your screen, several agents, more than 4 or 5, are on this individual. One agent comes in swinging, and next thing they know, they kind of disperse, and we hear gunshots. That is video that is circulating on social media right now about what happened at 27th and Nicollet right before shots rang out, and now the individual who was shot, we are learning, is deceased. Governor Walz has also tweeted that he is aware of this happening. We're going to expect to hear from Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara at 11:30. And then we're told a press conference at noon from Border Patrol head Greg Bovino. He was expected to speak at 11 o'clock today, but has pushed that back to 12 o'clock because of the incidents that are unfolding in South Minneapolis. This is the 3rd shooting that we've had of federal agents of Minneapolis residents since Operation Metro Surge began. And all this comes just a day after thousands of protesters came to Minneapolis to express their concern about ICE being in their community. There were ministers and people from all over the country that showed up. They marched from the U.S. Bank Stadium Commons all the way to Target Center, and that's where they held a rally to show that they do not want ICE in our community. Once again, let's go to our Adam Duxter, who is on the north side of this incident near 26 and Nicollet. Adam, what's going on there now?
Welcome, Florida. How you doing, love? Glad you're here. This is, oh, yeah, Miss Prosperity. I'll Google that. Thank you.
What you're looking at right now is essentially a half a block to the east. This is an alleyway. We're looking right at Little Tijuana, right here, just off 26th and Nicollet. But you also see those agents lined up, and the crowd has essentially here learned that this is the way to get to the federal agents. And so now this is a standoff. Again, if Will can show, can we show show these conservation officers maybe to the right. So that's where the Nicollet is. That's Nicollet, and all the conservation officers are here. Again, this is a half block to the east. As you see this standoff between presumably federal agents down there, we see some plainclothes people, and you could see them standing there essentially looking at this crowd. And when you were with us here, probably, what was that, 5 or 8 minutes ago, we were here in the same area, and we saw chemical agents being deployed. And I believe now this is why. Again, you have part of this crowd here who is so frustrated and angry and wants to get close to the federal agents who are here on scene. Again, Reg, they haven't been able to clear this scene yet. And when Renee Good was shot and killed, again, just over 2 weeks ago, that's where we saw some of the largest clashes between people who had shown up and the federal agents, was when the federal agents were trying to get out and get their vehicles out. And that's when you saw people being tear gassed. That's when you saw people being pepper sprayed, essentially from point blank range. Our crews were caught up in that moment because at some point, Reg, these federal agents are going to have to get out of this intersection. And at this point, Reg, I don't know how they're going to do that without there being some sort of clash. We saw just a moment ago a clash when they were trying to get local law enforcement through this crowd on Nicollet. And I can tell you, Reg, that at some point, again, these federal agents are going to have to get out of this area. And you can see them standing right in front of Little Tijuana there to give you kind of a landmark of what we're near. We're just north of 26th and Nicollet. And you see this crowd of about maybe 24 people. There's more kind of around us right now. It's a standoff, Reg, and they're waiting to see what's going to happen. We've already seen chemical agents used one time against this crowd here, just again, a half block east of 26th and Nicollet. But you're just not sure what's going to happen next. And Reg, if I could show you one more time, it's like I said, it is as true to form as you can get to the word. This is a standoff because you have that crew that we just saw right there, and then we have this crowd here that are standing off against the conservation officers that are on the scene. Again, we've seen Minnesota State Patrol troopers. We've seen, the conservation officers who are here on scene. These are the local law enforcement agents who are being called in to serve as crowd control for these federal agents who are here. But again, Reg, the thought that keeps going through my mind is at some point these federal agents are going to have to try and clear this scene. You don't know when it's going to be, what they have to do beforehand, or what they're trying to do beforehand, or if they're trying to strategize a crowd control plan. But I can tell you, as someone who was at the scene 25 minutes after Renee Good was killed 2.5 weeks ago, is that when these federal agents try and leave this scene, that is when we are going to see a clash. That is kind of the fear between them and the crowd that's here. So we'll continue to keep watching this, Reg. We'll try and look for some more people to talk to potentially. But again, this is where you saw, again, just about 10 minutes ago, the chemical agents deployed. I was running towards it. I was trying to figure out what was going on. This is what we saw, which is, again, this is the crowd with the conservation officers, and this is the crowd here standing off of federal agents. And again, Reg, I can't begin to describe to you how surreal it is to be here and just hear things exploding or blowing up every few minutes. And again, you would guess that is the chemical irritants that they're using to try and clear the crowd where they can. But just an absolutely surreal morning when it is real feel, in the negative teens. This is the crowd that's shown up, and we're not quite sure what's going to happen next, Reg.
Yeah, my girls, right? Fake journalists. It keeps trying to trigger words for sympathy. Yeah. What the heck? Thank you, Prosperity. I did receive that.
Yeah, Reg, when we first showed up, for folks who just turned on the TV, when we first showed up here, myself and the photojournalists I'm working with, there was caution tape up, probably a block to the north, so that'd be 25th and Nicollet. There's caution tape up. And
thank you, Ruby. Yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Miss Prosperity's channel. Thank you so much. She is our boots on the ground in Chicago. She holds it down for us there. Thank you so much.
Again, Frankie's on the south side of the crowd, and we are on the north side. I'm guessing for many people, if they're coming from the north side, we're just about a mile from downtown, right? And so it's hard to gauge really how big this crowd is when you've got half on one side and half on the other side. But I can tell you between this group here,
Doreen, Tim Walls, just so you know, and I don't know how this is going to work out, but he's activated the Minneapolis National Guard. So we have to, how is this going to work with the federal agents? So we'll have to see. And this is a developing story. And of course, hey, these are all peaceful protests, right? Yeah. And our great sister, Miss Prosperity, just sent me a clip. Yeah, one of the protesters bit the finger off of one of the officers. Wow. Oh my goodness. So let me see if I can find, okay. All right. What the heck? Oh no, he can tell the, what the heck? Would you say Dorian? Oh no, he can tell the National Guard to go at Dorian. That's what I'm thinking. OMG.
Leave the scene and get out of here. And you just hope and pray, Reg, that no one else gets hurt in all this. You really do. But this is what we're seeing, Reg. It's a standoff right now. And I think we're going to try and get maybe a little bit closer to the scene. Nicolette talked to a couple of people, but it's a standoff, and more people are showing up by the minute.
Thanks a lot, Adam Duxer, live there at 26th and Nicollet Avenue in South Minneapolis. I'm now joined my colleague and friend, Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. Yes. We are learning from the Associated Press that the individual who was shot and killed was a 51-year-old man, according to the Associated Press. Mm-hmm. We do have some video that was just into our studios that shows exactly what led up to the shooting. Hopefully we can roll that video. And it was given to us by a bystander, and it showed this man was being pummeled by some of the ICE agents, and then they dispersed and there was gunfire. So right now we're going to go to Frankie McLister. Frankie is on the north south side. But are you on the north side now, Frankie, or are you on the south side?
South side. No, we're on the south side. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, Frankie.
Okay, good. So as you see, we're right now on 27th. You're looking towards Nicollet. We've just had to honestly back up more and more as this just continues to be super fluid and can get pretty hectic on a moment's notice. You're seeing a lot of bystanders that have backed up because before Adam was talking, we saw more chemical irritants deployed this way, and we're going to continue to pay attention to that. But I spotted a woman who was kind of comforting an individual that was seemed to be in the middle of everything and had to run back here. Your name was Joy, right, ma'am? Yeah. My name is Joy. Where do you live, and what brought you? As we know, people are irritated. There's a lot of just profanity going on. What brought you out here? And kind of just tell me who you were chatting with and what words you were using to comfort her.
So my husband is in there somewhere. Like, we were at home, in our posh home in Edina. And we were watching the news and learned that there was another shooting here. And we were just like, I can't stand this anymore. I can't stand what's happening here. So we came out immediately. And we were here after a lot of the folks were getting pulled out and tear gas and can't see out of their own eyes because they're literally blinded by the chemicals. And so I was helping people back there, and I happened across this woman. I don't know where she is now, but she was having a panic attack. She was in the moment of having a panic attack. And I walked up and I gave her a huge hug, and I just said to her, I said, we got this. This is when we show our resolve as a city, because we're better than this. We are under attack by this administration right now, and this is not okay. It's just not. I'm a 55-year-old woman who lives in Edina, and I have to come in here and tell the world, we have to change this. This is not okay for our city.
How long have you lived in the Twin Cities?
This is my second stint in the Twin Cities. I've been here. I was here 13 years the first time. I left for a little bit. I've been back now for 8.
Let me ask you, scenes like this have just drawn a spotlight across the world, across the country. What do the Twin Cities mean to you? What do you want to show to people outside that are only seeing instances such as all this tension happening right now and back in 2020?
You know, I believe that the Twin Cities represents the best of America on a fundamental level.
Why and how so?
Because we represent this idea of embracing others from other places. I mean, there are 160 different nationalities that live in this city because, you know, there's a lot of refugee programs that are based out of this city. We invite them in because we know that they belong here, that they're welcomed here. This is about attacking the fundamental principles of our country right now. We are one country, regardless of where we come from. We're all immigrants and we're sitting on native land.
I'm just going to ask us to move back as maybe Ray can just kind of point the camera. This is, again, just how fast things are moving, where you're seeing some folks that
go back to her posh home. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Yes, Marsh, I guess she supports being robbed, carjacked, essayed, unalived. Fill in the blank.
Honestly.
Boom.
It's like joy, guys. And just hearing these explosive sounds, it is kind of, I won't cut it, very surreal to be out here. We're at the corner of 27th and Nicollet. You can see the smoke that has filled the air. We got here probably, let me look at my phone right now to even see the time. I see it says 11:10 a.m. I also see it's -10. Clearly that's...
Did you hear that? It is -10 degrees. Do you think I would be out there? Heck no. James, does anybody have a map of where the jewelry stores are in that town? Asking for a free... James, I have no clue. She's regurgitating Walsh's word. Yeah, tube steak. Oh my God. What the heck?
Now, standing by to be prepared to deploy the chemical irritants. And now, as you see, they're not shy about doing that. The first one I want to notice that I saw being deployed was right shortly after a bystander took a chunk of snow and threw it at some of the agents. So that quickly made them move towards the bystanders here, as the video of the man in his 50s that we now have confirmed did die in the situation this morning. But as that video circulates, we know that more and more people hear about the situation.
My girl said that the lady who was just speaking is only going to get dumber with age. Hey, my girls, Ruby, I have an idea. How about we send this lady and all of these other people with less than 2 brain cells to the great Leering Center, the Somali Leering Center. You think that would help them? Boom. Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up. The jokes write themselves.
You guys were off the set about 9 o'clock and you start hearing there's a shooting involving guys.
And now we have Mike Max, who was out there on the scene. And Mike, our sports director, is doing what he can to help tell the story.
All
Mike, what's going on? Yes.
We're Minnesota, man. We're all in this together, and we've got the traffic trying to come through. We've got the Border Patrol here, and we've got protesters right here. So they just came over to back people off. And what's happening is the line of demarcation just keeps getting a little bit closer here, a little scary. They're also trying to allow traffic to come through here, but you can see what's going on. They're within a few feet of each other, and you see more people, more law enforcement coming now from the, I guess what would be south, and they're trying to, obviously this situation just could escalate any time because the people are hot and they're getting closer and closer and trying to move people into certain directions, keep them on the sidewalks, all of that, because you've also got traffic coming through here that they're trying to make way for in South Minneapolis. Some perhaps curious, some perhaps live in this area, but right now you can feel, because it's drifting our way again. Here comes the tear gas, and the Border Patrol federal officer, Bureau Bordo, is trying to keep peace. You can feel. How do you feel about that? You can feel it. What you're basically seeing behind me is protesters calling out. law enforcement for what they believe happened this morning not far from here, and law enforcement trying to hold their own and stay calm. But this is electric right here. We'll try to get a different angle on it, but this is going to go on for a little while, I think, as they try to bring traffic through as well. We'll keep you updated, Reg, but it's tense out here again.
The temperature is so high right now. We know Adam Duxter has a different perspective of this going on. He is also near the scene. Adam, what is it like where you are right there near Nicolette in the scene of where this happened?
Susan, Reg, look at this. This is an armored vehicle that is trying to get through the scene. Look at this.
This is level.
Look at this. There's a dozen people. This is north.
Okay, they're standing directly in front. Okay, they're blocking this vehicle, but they're doing nothing wrong. They're not impeding the progress of this video, of this vehicle. Okay, they're doing nothing wrong.
This is on the north side, and you see people trying to punch the windows off of this car. And people are literally hanging onto the hood of this vehicle. People are throwing trash cans on top of this vehicle. But this is the
trash cans they've thrown on top. And then if something happens to one of them, we're supposed to cry and join them in the protesting. No, ma'am. No, sir.
Armored vehicle. I cannot make out who this is, what agency this is, but this is an armored vehicle trying to get in the scene. And again, Reg and Suze, I've been saying this as we see another clash here between the conservation officers trying to clear the scene. And this is where we're going to see these clashes, is them trying to get in and out. And I'm not sure who's in there, guys. I'm not sure who, but I can tell you, we were just trying to talk to someone a moment ago, hey, how do you feel? What do you see type interview? And all of a sudden, you just hear that thing coming through, and it's just pure chaos. You saw people hanging on the hood right there. And you just fear for people out here as you see these conservation officers now. This is
just fear for people out here. Go home.
For the profanities that you're hearing on your TV right now, but that is a seriously heavily armored vehicle that just made its way through. You saw people literally hanging off of the hood of that car. Again, I apologize for the profanities that you're hearing, but that was as intense as we've seen it out here so far this morning, guys. And again, that's Black Sheep Pizza right there in the corner. We're on 26 in Nicolette. You're headed into Eat Street. These are the restaurants that make.
Tuesday said no bias reporting here. Boom, right? Every time we cover these live protests, as soon as they open their mouths, we know which way they lean. That's a good one, Tuesday.
Agents deployed. I fear that could be what's coming next. But Reg and Suze, this is the heart of Minneapolis as far as Eat Street. This is where people come when you have friends and family come into town. You say, hey, let's go to Eat Street, Nicolette. And you say, let's go. This is the culture and the diversity of this city is Eat Street. And it's everywhere down here on Nicolette as far as the different restaurants, the different types of food. And this is what you're seeing now just be the heart of this fight, as we just saw that heavily armored vehicle come through and people fight. But I mentioned earlier, we saw a standoff in front of Little Tijuana. We saw now them coming through by Black Sheep Pizza. Guys, just really, really hoping for people's safety out here on the scene now.
Okay, well, we want you to watch your safety too. Thank you so much, Adam. You and your photographer, stand by, take care. We're going to go to Frankie McClister, who is on the other side of the action. I think the south
He's
side,
on the south
right?
side of that event. Frankie, what are you seeing right now?
I'm not sure if we can hear Frankie right now. It sounds like his audio might.
Okay, I'm going to have to leave the stream for a few minutes. I need to go feed the deer. I need to go feed the kitty cats. So I'm going to go off screen for a few minutes, but I'll be right back. Please don't leave. Give me a few minutes to feed the animals. Okay, the deer are waiting. And I got to go put the deer corn out, and I got to go feed the kitty cats. I'll be right back.
So you, and I'm sorry about that mic issue there, guys, but we just are moving north right now because we are seeing what appears to be, as we up, Watch out, Ray. Agents just threw more. There's more being thrown. There's a dumpster on fire there. This right now, I believe you're looking at, is near Bladesdale and 26. We're trying to stay back here, but we pointed out this smoke up in the air. And now you're seeing this is the most, guys, intense I have seen since covering Operation Metro Surge. The dumpster's on fire right there. That restaurant is Luna in the Bear, a very well-known restaurant in this area. We're kind of like in the Whittier neighborhood, trying to watch our step and make sure that things don't get worse as we're giving you a live picture right here. We were on 27. We moved up an alley when we saw this black smoke here. And guys, I want to point out, this is just one day after we know thousands took the streets of downtown Minneapolis. It got quiet right now. And this is how quick things evolve. So Ray, our photojournalist, just noted that these guys are State Patrol right there. A good point you make right there. State Patrol is the other agent, the only local agency I have seen out here. We did see MPD come down some of the city streets, but haven't seen them exactly on the ground like State Patrol is right there. A lot of folks, let's kind of show how the irritants are affecting people right there. You can hear those sounds, guys, of pepper balls. Now they're just coming from all ends. It's in the negatives out here. And it seems like that fire right there is calmed down of some sort. No sign of Minneapolis fire at this time, but it looks like there are agents, federal agents. You can see kind of the difference in the uniforms too. So now we have some that are walking down here that are mad at State Patrol. They're yelling. They are over here. As we know, people are mad and screaming some profanity. But guys, we're going to stay right here, kind of monitor the situation. And Susan, Reg, come back to us. We'll try and ask some of these folks if they know anything about what happened right here.
Okay. Well, we can see how high the tensions are. Take care. We're going to go to the other side of the action. Adam Duxter is near the scene where the shooting happened. After 9 o'clock this morning, we know that a 51-year-old man is dead. We expect a lot of questions to be answered in about 12 minutes when we're expecting a press conference. Until then, we're going to go to Adam on the scene. Adam, are you catching some of those irritants, it sounds like?
Yeah, Suze, this crowd, you saw just a minute ago, that heavily armed vehicle roll right through. A dozen people hanging onto the hood. Now you see, I'm guessing this is tear gas. We're just downwind of it enough, and it's enough to disperse this crowd a little bit. I can tell you guys, I could hear your reaction when that truck was pulling through. That was the reaction of everyone that was out here. I mean, I just saw a dozen people hanging on the hood of that vehicle and it driving right through. Chemical irritants seem to come from the west of us, kind of behind Black Sheep Pizza, but you see it's enough to drive back the majority of this scene. And one thing I want to say to you guys, when we were walking up here, again, I think it's so important for people to remember as they're watching this. This is the cultural hub for the city of Minneapolis. As you hear more chemical agents being deployed here.
Families go to dinner there all the time.
But this is, you got a Thai restaurant right here. We have, the Copper Hen is right here. Little Tijuana is right here. Black Sheep Pizza is right here. In this intersection, as you can hear that pop, 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 pop. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the background, but my guess is they're trying to I don't want to speculate, but they're trying to move people out of the way. They're trying to clear a path of some sort. These chemical agents are no joke for people who are watching and they wonder what it's like. It's intense.
It's got to be worse now because it's so cold. It's got to hurt trying to breathe with the cold and the irritants.
Yes, and I will say, Reg and Suze, I want you to look at this. This is, as I try not to slip and fall here, but this is things that people have just shown up and dropped off. These are eye wash. These are water bottles. These are earplugs. people are asking if there's hand warmers in here. There is hand warmers here. So again, these are people who just come up and drop these things off. I can tell you that when we got hit just a second ago, as the chemical agents started to waft over us, we started walking away. So someone handed me a bottle of water, and so the crowd's starting to come back. The smoke is clearing literally, but again, we're going to continue to watch what happens here. And you can also see, though, last thing I want to point out, we are starting to see barricades, or at least an attempt to barricade multiple blocks here of Nicollet headed north towards downtown. And so, again, there's going to be some moment where they try and get these federal agents out of here. It has not happened yet, I can tell you that.
Okay, Adam, we see the scene right here. One theme from the beginning is it seems it's hard to tell which law enforcement is which. Is that what it's like on the ground?
I can tell you this, Suze, is that our local law enforcement has made a concerted effort over the course of the last couple of weeks, whether it be State Patrol, whether it be the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, to attempt to distinguish themselves. You can see that these conservation officers here are wearing those high vis, those bright green jackets. That is done deliberately. They want to look different from the federal agents. I can tell you that, many people know this, but when you start talking about federal agents, there are different divisions. There is HSI, there is ICE, there is ERO, there's Border Patrol, and then even within Border Patrol, we've seen BORTAC walking around with Greg Bovino. That's a tactical unit. We've seen multiple, different types, even within the federal agents. So again, to answer your question, these high-vis vests, these are conservation officers here with the state of Minnesota. And we haven't really seen, over the course of the last few minutes, a presence of federal agents towards the front of the line here.
I'm back, folks. I had to go feed the animals. Woo, it's cold outside. I like that, Patriot. Yes, S-hole Minneapolis. Boom. Yes, he's lying. My girl, that's what they do. Let's see what he's saying.
About this is the sophistication of it is you see people going back now. They were just tear gassed and they released the chemicals. People have figured out kind of the cadence to protesting and these confrontations. So they know the chemicals are going to be dispersed. They hear the flash bombs. They leave. Many of them have masks, masks that you'd wear like for COVID. Many others have actual tear gas masks that they came with. So they know what they're up against, and they know that after a while, when this subsides, and you can see it happen, playing out in real time, they now return. Okay, we're listening to an announcement. Hang on one second. This has just been declared an unlawful assembly in the background by the Minnesota State Patrol.
My girls, I haven't seen Froggy since he hopped into the living room, so he's somewhere dead. I don't know where I only saw him one time, and he was on my front door. He hopped into my house, and that was this summer, so he's dead. I'm sure. There's nothing in here for him to eat. Another liberal fake journalist. Boom. There you go. Okay.
So technically, of course, that gives them some more authority. They're asking them to disperse, and all bets are off as to what's going to happen next, because they've declared it, and obviously that changes how this thing can be orchestrated. But you can see the people there have right now no intention of leaving. They've just threatened an arrest if you don't leave this area peacefully, and I don't see anybody leaving right now. And as I mentioned, they've kind of figured this out. They figured out where they can be, what they can do, where the lines are, what to wear, all those things. And so after they have an altercation, you might think that drives them back home. They simply retreat 2 blocks and then return to the scene. And so you can see it.
Well, thank you, Florida, for holding it down, helping us hold the channel together. Thank you so much. You know, I have to take care of the babies.
And the bullhorn is out. They are... I don't know if you can hear that or not.
Which is an additional crime.
But in essence, they're threatening a crime and arrest. So what we might see next is people being arrested and taken away. We saw it, during the George Floyd riots. We saw it during they put them in the paddy wagons. Which you can hear some of the flash bombs, and here comes the chemicals again. So we'll keep you updated here. We're going to try to get a little bit closer to the scene, Reg.
Thank you for your service. All of my prior military, CJ Parks and Patron and a few other people. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for your service. Yes.
And the tensions are. We expect a lot of our questions to be answered here momentarily, about 2 to 3 minutes. Our Esme Murphy is standing by. Esme, we are expecting.
So, folks, what are your thoughts on this? So, again, as you can see, this situation is continuing to escalate and no end in sight. What are your thoughts?
We've not heard about state officials. I can tell you there are reporters gathered here. Many of them are setting up. People are awaiting this news conference. I can tell you that privately here at City Hall, with the mayor's office, with the chief's office, they have been scared that something like this was going to happen again. And
they are responsible for it with their rhetoric. And instead of telling the people to follow the law, their blood is on Tim Walz's hands, and also the mayor, all of these people. It's on the blood is on their hands.
Maybe more, waiting for this news conference, waiting for details. I'm sure we will get them, and I'm sure that we'll hear from the chief. And
thank you for your service, Tijuana, and anyone else who is here who is not typing anything, but they're here watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping us all safe. And I know my dad's not watching, but thank you for your service, sir, as well. All right.
ISIS tactics are not true police tactics, for what it's worth. That's what he said. Those are his words. He's put that out there. The mayor obviously has expressed his concern many, many times, and we are certainly expecting to hear that. We're also expecting to get the details of exactly what happened. Perhaps they have some more explanation of exactly what happened in that video.
Okay, thank you so much, Esme. We'll check back in when that begins momentarily. And as Esme said, this is the police chief and this is the mayor. We expect them to answer questions because this last incident happened in the city of Minneapolis, which is where they are. So we should know more about that investigation. But Reg, it was after your show this morning, around 9:15, we started to hear there was a shooting.
Jackalow, why does this lady sound like her dentures a little? Jackalow, who knows? How are you, Jackalow? Haven't seen you in a while. We're going to see more and more of these incidences. Now, for all of the people here who are new, if you go back, so you know I'm not sitting here making things up. Hey, Nemo has been found. Hey, Nemo, how are you? We talked about, okay, this is the actual incident, but we talked about people being unalived, people being brutalized, hurt. We talked about all of these activities that these protesters are involved in. And we said that this would happen. We said this. We said that the ICE agents were in danger. We know that's been the truth. We said that, you know, the military that Trump was sending in, they were in harm's way. That turned out to be true. So, yeah. These people never learn. They never, ever seem to learn. Oh my God, what is wrong with these people?
Exchanged a lot of the officers, 4 or 5 officers on the man, and then you see them leave the man, and then you hear gunshots, and the crowd erupts. A lot of profanities. That's why we are not running the audio on this, because of the profanity. But this is video into WCCO that
yes, Ruby.
What led up to the shooting? All those federal agents on top of the man, and we have learned that that 51-year-old man, according to the Associated Press, is dead from his injuries.
So we know this was a fatal incident, but we have many questions about how it unfolded, exactly what happened, and we expect to have answers here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and our Caroline Cummings joins us now because she's hearing from elected officials. What are you hearing from them about this incident?
Right, well, we heard from Governor Tim Walz earlier on social media. He said he was in communication with the White House, and he said, quote, the president must end this operation. We also are reporting that 2 Department of Homeland Security officials have told CBS News that the person who was shot had a firearm. And we also are reporting from our own Jennifer Merrily that the ATF is doing a trace on that gun that was recovered. So what is unclear right now, yes, the gun here is the gun that they recovered on the scene. Again, it's unclear where it was recovered. We do know that DHS is saying that the person who was shot and killed had this gun. So hopefully we'll get some more clarity in this press conference about where that was recovered. We do know, as I just said, that the ATF is running a trace on that firearm. We also got some statements from other elected officials, Senator Amy Klobuchar, saying to Republicans in the Trump administration who have, quote, stood silent, get ICE out of the state now. She put that on social media. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office emphasized in a statement, Mary Moriarty, the Hennepin County attorney, that, quote, the scene must be secured by local law enforcement, and we expect the federal government to allow the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to process the scene. Why does that matter? Well, of course, there has been this tug of war, if you will, between the state and federal authorities over the scene at the Renee Good shooting, which happened, now we're coming up on 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, on January 7th. The state said that the federal government took over the investigation, did not allow them to see any of that evidence. That has been a point of contention. They want the state to be involved in that investigation. So here we are, unclear to what extent the BCA is involved at this point as they try to secure that scene, but perhaps that's another answer or question we can get answered at this press conference with the mayor and
a key question. And I want for people at home to know, you know, we've all covered these types of things over the years, and typically law enforcement does work in unison on these type of incidents, right?
Yeah, it does. It does happen where they can work concurrently with each other, or they'll share. But I will make a note.
Can't work with them because they're not trustworthy. You can tell it is a peaceful protest when the protesters are locked and loaded. Ruby! Oh my God. Yeah, every time they keep saying, oh, it's peaceful and you know, nothing, you know, okay, I guess, is that the guy? Oh, wow. So yeah, every time they say that, it's dispelled and the truth comes out. You see the police tape? So I guess, is that the guy that was shot?
But it is unclear to what extent the state will be involved in any investigation here.
So that'll be a big question. And it looks like something else is unfolding. I mean, we are getting this second by second. It looks like a person is down. We have seen them moving right there. And this is
someone else.
Scene of where the shooting happened.
It appears that they're in handcuffs there, Suze. You see that?
Well, as Mike Max reported earlier, that this scene has been declared an unlawful assembly.
They said they were
that people who were out there were going to be arrested. And as we see right now, they are being arrested. Let's go to Mike Max, who is right there while that is happening. Mike, can you tell us exactly what is going on right there?
Well, I can tell you what's unsafe right now. They're bringing out dumpsters to put them here to impede anybody coming through downtown. So they're finding dumpsters from all over in different ways to prevent vehicles from getting through here. And when we look behind here, I don't know if they're destined for this location or not, but you can see emergency vehicles. This would be their route to whatever it is that they've been called upon, or maybe they're standing on standby. But in essence, what we've got here is a blockade, so to speak, so that if you try to come down here on 25th and Nicollet, you can only get to 25th because right now it's blocked off. I don't see any law enforcement or anything like that around here, but they're simply blocking it off and creating, if you will, their own perimeter, I guess. So it's another thing that we're watching because we can't tell if those vehicles are destined for here or if they're just going to come down into this area or if they're just on standby right now. But that's what's going on here on 25th and Nicollet, still a couple blocks away from ground zero.
The scene, Mike? Are people leaving or are more people coming? Because it has been declared, as you told us earlier, an unlawful assembly. They should leave if they don't want to get arrested, but are people still coming?
People are still coming. Lots of traffic coming through. You don't know where the people are that are driving, if they're trying to be part of this or they just had to be in the area. But I think they're here to be part of the movement. There are some semantic issues. It's hard to park in this area. I mean, there's just not that many parking spots in this area, as you know. It's very tight. And so that part is difficult. So too is the fact that it's cold and getting over here. But the fact that they have declared this, and they say they may be making arrests here shortly, has not deterred anybody. In fact, it seems like there's more people coming. They've got to park some ways away, but you can see right here what's happening. Those are the dumpsters that are coming here, and they're forming their own unofficial barricade here so that if somebody wants to get through here, at least the 25th, you can turn right or left. But you're not going to be able to get through because there's too many people and there's too much stuff between what would be, they're just putting that right in the middle of the street so you can't get through. And so I don't know what the strategy is there, if it's to impede all law enforcement, emergency vehicles, I don't know, but it's a fortified effort. And because they're so close to apartment buildings, there's a lot of dumpsters that they can find readily in this one block area. So that's what they're doing right now. And they're just moving it down here and creating, like I said, their own perimeter. And I don't know how you clean that up, but you certainly are not going to get through with the vehicle right now.
Looks like those are people who are living in the community who are doing this right.
Yes. Yes, this is again organic, right? What we see a lot around here. They figured out that, and you can see it again, Joe, if you point down here, it's a brigade. I mean, they're just bringing dumpster after dumpster. And at 25th and Nicollet, you can hear it. You're not going to be able to get through or get out of. I don't know if that's the strategy or not, to keep law enforcement inside there so they can't leave as well. But you can see
you see what they're doing, but they're not doing anything wrong. My girls, I have not seen that.
You can see what they're doing right here. They're creating their own perimeter, and it is the. Are you just trying to create a perimeter?
Yes, sir.
And what's the intent?
We're just blocking off there. It's protecting our community around here. So.
Is it more for incoming vehicles or for ones that would want to get out?
More for incoming. We're just protecting our community.
What if there's an emergency, and what if there's a fire and a fire truck or an ambulance needs to get through and they have all of this blocking the way? What the heck?
We're standing out here. We had a big protest yesterday over this, and then this is what they do a day after the protest. We're just getting tired of this, and we want them to go back home so we can go back to living our lives in our cities.
So you're just trying to keep, though, to be clear, vehicles from coming into this scene or this area?
We're just protecting our community, making sure they stay where they are and we'll stay where we are.
Okay, the one thing I say, if there's an ambulance that needs to get through, can these be cleared quickly if anything, God forbid, anything happens?
We'll let our paramedics come through if they need to go through, but not the ICE agents.
Okay, there you go. So that's the intent. Like I said, this is moving in real time and it's something else. So you can see down.
Yeah, we can see everything that they're doing. Yeah, this is crazy. He's illegal. He covered up his face once he walked on camera. My girl. Yeah, he doesn't want to leave.
There.
CJ said, organic my butt. Paid agitators. There's no way they're paying for all that gear they're wearing. Good point, CJ. Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if they're on standby or if they need to come through here, but hopefully they're true to that too, because you could move these if it was an emergency. And I hope that if anything, like I said, God forbid happens, that they need to access this for an emergency, that an emergency vehicle can get through. But here we go. And it's not, I just see people registers and they just keep coming. They're not going anywhere. The crowd's going to get bigger and it's going to continue to get bigger. And I don't know where it ends, but it's going to continue, I think, to develop based on what we're seeing here. And it doesn't matter that they're saying stay home, all those things. People are finding their way over here. It just takes them a little bit longer because you have to park a long ways away.
Mike, the -9-degree weather doesn't seem to be deterring people.
I got to tell you, if you told me 9 below and you'd be out here, and I don't know what adrenaline does. I think most of us would say that in part we've got adrenaline going here, right? Because I can't explain why we don't feel cold, but nobody out here seems to be cold. They've got water bottles that they can access. A lot of people are providing water for them. But yeah, I mean, nobody here, it seems like they're bothered by the cold. Am I correct about that?
I'm pretty bothered.
Yeah, but you're okay?
We're handling.
Okay, there you go, and that's what it is. That's what the and that's what it feels like out here. You don't feel the cold right now. Maybe you will at some point in time, but right now you're so focused on what's going on around you and what's happening here. And like I said, here you can see a part of it. I don't know what they're doing on the other side, but you can see down there. Here we go, the flashbangs again. You can see the smoke there in the distance.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've noticed, and I said this before, Reg and Susan, is people understand that tear gas is coming, and then they understand that there's kind of a waiting period while you have to wait that out. And that doesn't mean they're going to leave and go home. That means that they're going to get out of the way, out of harm's way. But then at some point in time, they can return to wherever it is that if they want to protest or get up close. I don't think that those chemicals are having the same effect that maybe they did initially, because people now understand what they're up against and they understand the effect of everything that's coming their way.
And Mike, I know you were on the ground in the unrest after George Floyd was murdered. How would you compare the environment you're feeling right now to that aftermath?
Different, and here's why. First of all, it was 70 degrees and it was perfect weather during the George Floyd, the 4 days of George Floyd. So that changed some things to an extent. It's also different demographics of people that are out here, completely different demographics to an extent of people that are here for maybe slightly different reasons, maybe offended by something that people that rallied around the George Floyd did not. And that's the feeling that I get here. To an extent, there's some crossover. There's some of the same people. There's people that are anti-law enforcement, things of that nature, but it's a much different crowd, a different spirit. I would say more sophisticated in how they protest, in that they've got the tear gas masks, they've got all kinds of things that they're prepared for what's going to happen, as opposed to during George Floyd, we would walk and talk and they'd go and we didn't know what was coming next, nor did they. Here, they're prepared. They understand what could happen when they're down here. And I can see some more, here's some more garbage cans coming to the rescue. They're just going to keep.
Listen to this liberal talking. This crowd's more sophisticated. Can you understand? Did you understand what he just said? Comparing this crowd to the George Floyd crowd. I'll wait. Type it in the comment section. Yeah, they are. They are. They are rioters. Yes, it's a joke. I know my girl will type it. Did you just hear what this man said, comparing the two sets of protesters?
Take them along, and they figured that out. And there's a lot of alleys here, and anybody that's been in South Minneapolis knows how this lays out and what it's like. But there's a lot of apartments and a lot of things.
Yes, CJ, you know why I'm staying out.
Access rather quickly. You don't have a lot that you can do here because it's so tight and so crowded. But that's the one thing that they were able to find and move into this area. And we did. By the way, we're at 25th and Nicollet, and there's no law enforcement that I can see around here either. So I don't know if they're aware of this or if it's important to them, if it's a priority to them. But where we are, there's no law enforcement. That's at least 2 blocks away right now from where we are. So I don't know if this would strike them as being something that would create a confrontation, or that they'd try to move this or try to do something peacefully. But at some point in time, somebody's going to have to deal with this. We just don't know when and how.
Thank you so much, Mike. And we know we have crews on the other side of that too that we're eventually going to go to. Right now, all eyes are on a press conference with the mayor, with the police chief, Caroline Cummings, joining Reg and I right now. And the big questions we expect to get answered here.
Well, they both have been calling for peace since all this started. This is something that the police chief was afraid was going to happen, that the crowds would clash with the federal agents.
Ruby gets it. Yes, George Soros, he paid for them to get some better equipment. Boom. Ruby picked up on that. A. Jones, it's not more sophisticated. They're holding back because everybody is old and part of the rainbow community and white. Okay, A. Jones. Boom. Oh my God. Oh, wow.
It's all right there. So it's very interesting that this is all unfolding right there. Such a different feel than you usually get when you take a stroll down East Street.
That's what Mike was talking about, how just it seems like the neighbors there, they're more sophisticated, they're more organized there, and they're just saying they're protecting their community from these federal agents. You see they're putting up the barricades. They want them out, and they want to keep their community safe.
Guys, we have a new statement in from DHS. The spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, said that at 9 o'clock this morning, or around 9 o'clock this morning, quote, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien wanted for violent assault, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. And we do have a photo of that handgun here we referenced earlier. So they're saying that he had this gun at the scene, that he approached officers with that handgun. Of course, we have seen some video circulating on social media about what transpired. We talked about, we silenced that video for profanities. In that video, it appears that there is another bystander recording from a different angle. We don't yet have that angle. We can only see what we can see. This is what DHS is telling us. We're going to hear from, this video here that you see. This is the only angle.
To watch.
Yeah, and it's hard to see fully what transpired. You know, DHS is saying that this person approached officers with a gun. It's not immediately clear in this video, at least, what transpired leading up to this moment. Of course, videos are snapshots in time. So hopefully the police chief and the mayor can update on what their officers on the scene had gathered so far from witness accounts. And we're hearing that in about 10 minutes, we'll hear directly from the chief and the mayor.
Yeah, we've already done, we did a video on the fake new Black Panthers. Dorian, if you're on social media, oh my God, they are being clowned. That guy, Black Americans are all over TikTok saying something's not right with this guy. He's off code. We're not going into the streets to protest. Why is he saying that he's talking for us? And they even said that he's not Black, he's Hispanic. I don't know it, but they have clowned him into oblivion. Have you seen the video of the niece of one of the original Black? Yeah, she's suing him. Yes. My girls. Yes. I did. I've seen they're being clowned. That guy. And then there's a video out, all of these people who said they want to join the Black Panthers, and all the people that were joining, it's so hilarious. None of them were Black. Make it make sense. None of the people were Black. What the hell? So we know it's a ruse by the Democrats. They've been trying to get Black Americans out in the streets to protest for how long now? Since this started. And Black Americans are not going out in the streets for various reasons. You know why I'm not going out there. Black Panthers of self-defense, allegedly. Yeah, and then the guy who's the so-called leader, he talked all that crap, and he should have been arrested. And then he walked it back and said someone pieced together a video, like someone put words in his mouth. And I mean, so yeah, he talked all of that big talk. And then when he was attacked, and I guess he got scared. I don't know. I guess people were like, you know, the FBI is coming to visit you, right? So then he walked it back. The Rainbow Panthers. My girls, check out the video. Yeah, they have all these people signing up to join the Black Panthers, but you don't see any Black people. So they know it's a joke. They know this guy is a plant. Yeah, he tried to be a rapper a few years ago. Everything else failed. So now, I'm a Black Panther. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Nemo, the left is taking another Black people all over social media are laughing and clowning this guy. Like, who is this guy? And he's not legitimate. Okay, 70% of these ICE agents are combat veterans, ICE recruits, ex-combat veterans. They're already trained. Black Panthers are the Venezuelan junior high team. Okay, CJ, what a joke. Jeremiah, that's one of my favorite Dave Chappelle skits, the Black KKK member, the blind Mr. What was his name? Oh my God, hilarious. Yeah, I love that skit.
Shooting like this, and then what people see on eyewitness video. But as we should well note here, that video is from one angle. There appears to be somebody taking a video from the other angle. Hopefully we will be able to see such a video, but for now, this is the information we have. What DHS says.
I'm not joining any of these organizations. I'm going to sit in my home and relax and let these people continue to act crazy. Has anyone seen Orange Man, the black man that was at the protest, and he was shot with one of the orange pepper balls? He looked like he was just done. Anyone heard from him?
To noon. So we don't know. We're going to have dueling press conferences here to figure out exactly what the feds are saying and what the city is saying as well. So this would be interesting to see.
And in these breaking news moments, right, we only have what we have at the time.
Right.
And
yeah, this story, like I said earlier, is still unfolding. Political Science Club wanted me to protest. Yeah, don't get involved with that nonsense. No. It is cold as it is. They are out there. What's it? They said -9, 10 degrees. OMG. Okay. Okay, let's see what he's saying. What a waste. This guy.
And some of the details based on the limited amount of information that we have thus far this morning, and then I will provide some comments myself. Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN, O''HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis Police received a report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident, and we believe he is an American citizen. We have not been told any official reports of what has led up to the shooting, but we have seen the video that is circulating on social media. Our demand today is for those federal agencies that are operating in our city to do so with the same discipline, humanity, and integrity that effective law enforcement in this country demands. We urge everyone to remain peaceful. We recognize that there's a lot of anger and a lot of questions around what has happened, but we need people to remain peaceful. In the area, we have an unlawful assembly at this time. Minneapolis police have given multiple warnings for the crowd to disperse. We are asking for people to avoid the area and to leave if you are there. We have requested mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and from all our local and county regional partners. We ask everyone to remain calm and to please do not destroy our own city.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end? How many more lives need to be lost before this administration realizes that a political and partisan narrative is not as important as American values? How many times must local and national leaders must plead with you, Donald Trump, to end this operation and recognize that this is not creating safety in our city? As you'll hear from Director Sayer in just a second, we have seen these kinds of operations in other places, in other countries, but not here in America. Not in a way where a great American city is being invaded by its own federal government. I'm done being told that our community members are responsible for the vitriol in our streets. I'm done being told that our local elected officials are solely responsible for turning down the temperature. Just yesterday, we saw 15,000 people peacefully protesting in the streets, speaking out, standing up for their neighbors. Not a single broken window, not a single injury. Those peaceful protests embody the very principles that both Minneapolis and America was founded upon. Conversely, the mass militarized force and unidentified agents who are occupying our streets, that is what weakens our country. That is what erodes trust in both law enforcement and in democracy itself. So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again. To make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about. This is not a partisan issue. This is an American issue. This administration and everyone involved in this operation should be reflecting. They should be reflecting right now and asking themselves, what exactly are you accomplishing? If the goal was to achieve peace and safety, this is doing exactly the opposite. If the goal was to achieve calm and prosperity, this is doing exactly the opposite. Are you standing up for American families right now? Or are we tearing them apart?
You never stood up for American families.
The invasion of these heavily armed masked agents roaming around on our streets of Minneapolis, emboldened with a sense of impunity that has to end. This is not how it has to be. So, to President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader. Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back. Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents. Director Sayre.
My name is Rachel Sayre, and I am the Director of the Emergency Management Department for the City of Minneapolis. I took this job to keep us safe because I live here, and this is my community. We are doing everything we can to mitigate the impacts of this terrible situation. The city's Emergency Operations Center continues to be activated, as it has throughout the surge in federal agents over the last few weeks. We are tracking impacts and coordinating the city's response.
If you want to see Kristi Noem, she is live on Fox right now. Type a 1 in the comment section. I can switch away from this. You may have seen, you're like me, you may be tired of this left-leaning crap. If you would rather hear Kristi Noem, I could go there now. Just let me know. Yes, Prosperity. Yes, Tina. Type a 1 if you would like me to go to Kristi Noem's A. Jones. Okay, let's go. We go where you want to go. And I'm going to listen to what she says, not these bums. All right. So let me pull this up. Hit that like button, please. I didn't intend to be live this long, but hey. See what she's saying here. All right, here we go.
Together here at the FEMA headquarters and have opened our National Response Coordination Center and are working with local and state authorities to make sure that we're getting individuals and communities pre-deployed resources that they may need, and also preparing them for the upcoming days, which will significantly impact them and their citizens. The Trump administration and FEMA are working closely with them to get them information, to get them resources, and to help them be prepared and well equipped for the road ahead as we go through this next week. But before I take any questions and give more details on the storm and its impact, I do want to address the tragic situation that we saw in Minneapolis today that unfolded on the streets. It occurred with DHS law enforcement as they carried out their lawful duties to keep Americans safe in the threat of criminal illegal aliens in this country. At 9:05 a.m. Central Time, the Department of Homeland Security law enforcement officials and officers were conducting targeted operations in Minneapolis against an illegal alien whose criminal history included domestic assault with intentionally inflicting bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. About hundreds of protesters then showed up at the scene. They began to obstruct and to assault law enforcement officers. We saw objects being thrown at them, including ice and other objects, and a rampant assault began, and even an HSI officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures were deployed to bring safety to the public and to law enforcement at the scene. And once again, I want to remind everybody that this situation and this tragedy did not have to happen. Our law enforcement are doing everything that they can to protect the public. We're praying for this deceased loved one's family and friends, but we also recognize that the Minnesota governor and the Minneapolis mayor need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence against our citizens and our law enforcement officers. I'll remind you that Governor Walz today in his press conference said that our officers were not even law enforcement, which is a lie. He's called them the Gestapo. He's encouraged residents and citizens and violent rioters to resist. He's doxed their identities, putting themselves and their families' lives in jeopardy. He's refused to turn over murderers to federal law enforcement officers. He's protected illegal criminals and protected them from being brought to justice, and even overseen a historic, unprecedented theft of American taxpayer dollars. Tens of billions of dollars were stolen under his watch, and he allowed it to happen, and in some instances may have even facilitated it.
Yep.
In other cities and states across the country, we don't see this happen. Local, state, and officials work with us to make sure that we're making their streets safer. I'll point to the city of Memphis, which is where there is a Democrat mayor in place. He worked with us and our federal law enforcement officers, and we saw murder rates drop by 50% because of that partnership. We've seen historic lows in the criminal acts that have happened in that city. We've had the same amount of law enforcement officers there, but a very different result because of the leadership in place. Last week, ICE did over 2,000 different operations, and we saw people be brought to justice and the American people made safer because of that work. We don't have this problem in Texas or in Florida because those individuals in those states work with us, and they make sure that they keep peace and calm while they bring criminals to justice. In Minneapolis, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, they instead choose violence. They instead choose to encourage the destruction of their city and the crime against their people. It appears that they want this lawlessness to continue. It appears that they want chaos to distract from the theft and the fraud and the corruption of their city. I'll remind you that this city has been corrupt for years with what we've seen with people that have been stealing taxpayer money, all under the leadership of Governor Walz and Mayor Frey. I'm asking for all the authorities in Minneapolis and the leaders to work with us. And there are two things that we have repeatedly asked the governor and the mayor to do. Number one, all we want them to do is that when they are going to release a dangerous criminal from their jails, turn them over to us so we can get them out of this country as soon as possible. Since we have been back in the White House with President Trump's leadership, they have released over 490 criminals onto their streets rather than allow us to get them out of the country to keep families safe. The second thing that we have asked the governor and the mayor to do is to help us keep people safe. Just give us backup on the streets while we do our targeted operations to get illegal criminals out of our country. And then we wouldn't have to be there facing these types of situations that we face with violent rioters who are impacting and attacking our law enforcement officers. That's all. Those are the two requests that we've asked of them. We've asked them to help us do that so that we can continue to see success in Minneapolis like we see in so many other cities and communities across the country. But they have refused because they want us talking about attacking law enforcement officers instead of the fraud and the theft that they facilitated in Minnesota. One thing I'd like to do before I take your questions on that situation on the storm is give you a few facts about the storm and what we're facing here in the coming days.
So, and then some of you may know, because I was talking about it on Friday evening when we were live. So there's a massive weather situation developing. And I even mentioned it because I was not sure when it was starting. I was not sure if it, I would lose power, if I would lose internet service, and that is a possibility. So if I am not live, I told you Friday, and it hasn't started yet. I just went outside. But if you don't see me live tomorrow at 4:00 p.m., like I usually am, that simply means that either I lost power or I lost internet service. But if nothing like that happens, I will be live at my normal 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If Tim Walz sent the government, yeah. And so this is what they do. If they would work with them, they would rather release these criminals, like I said, that have essayed and unalived and done all kinds of horrible things to American citizens. And again, CJ, what really angers me about this situation is that they do this for illegals. They don't do this for American citizens. And that's to me is mind-boggling. I mean, did everyone who lives in Minneapolis, including Tampon Tim and the mayor and did all of these people, were they all educated at the Leering Center? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I don't get it. Praise Queen. Good, Ruby, good point. They will not turn them in. No. But again, my major issue, look, why, when the federal marshals or the FBI, when they're looking for an American citizen, what do the local authorities do? Someone tell me. What do they, when the feds are looking for you or for me? And what do the local authorities tell them? Well, we're not going to assist you. We're not going to help you. Someone tell me, I forgot. And they are paid only exponentially. Yeah, but I'm saying, CJ, Nemo, when the feds are looking for us, an American citizen, CJ, Nemo, Florida, Dorian, Prosperity, My Girls, Robert, Ruby, Jeremiah. What do the local authorities do if the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, if they're looking for us, what do the local authorities do? Do they just say, okay, well, you're on your own. You have to find them the best way you can. Thank you, Ruby. They come and they arrest you or me or Nemo or CJ or Florida or Dorian or Prosperity or my girls, I could go on and on. They arrest the American citizen. They hold them in their jail until they arrive. And then they turn us over to the feds. And I have a serious issue with that. Thank you, Ruby knows. That Ruby, they actually pick up, they come to your house and arrest you and hold you until they arrive. Ruby knows, yes. But for illegals, no, we won't help you. And you have people that you know that have unalived, SA'd, carjacked, and committed all other kinds of hideous crimes. And you, when you know that ICE is coming, you release them so that ICE can't get them. What the heck? They CJ, they do. And then they go to your home and arrest you. Yes, Tijuana. Ruby, I forgot. Here's your truth bomb. When me, Nemo, thank you. Dorian, thank you. They come and arrest us and hold us until they arrive. Someone tell me I'm lying. But with an illegal, oh no, you can't. No, they're the untouchables. Prosperity, yes, we did videos on that. Emperor Brandon Johnson told them to stand down, don't hurt the illegals. I've never heard him say that about American citizens. So I told you, I have a major issue with that. Major issue. It seems to me like you would try to protect American citizens. We're the ones who are voting for you. Illegals can't vote. Well, in Chicago, hey, they can probably. We heard about some nefarious activities that were taking place. And we know even in New York, they were trying to make it so that the illegals could vote. So there you go. And I told you that's why these bleeps became angels in 2025 after being demons in 2024. Yes. And that's why I told you I have a major problem with that. I do. Let me see. And then those of you who were not here, you need to see the video I did last night on the hoax. It was a black man and woman, a husband and wife duo. And if you're not familiar with it, they said that ICE came in throwing all these tear gas canisters, tear gas their van, and they were on their way. What did they say? I guess home. They said they went to their son's basketball game. Then they went to a grocery store. We found out everything was lies. I just dropped that link. They were there in the protest, and they left the kids in the van. Someone called CPS. Where's my girls? I know she'll look the number up. Someone called CPS and report them. They don't need to have, they left those children in that van while they were out there with the protesters. And they started a GoFundMe because ICE destroyed their van. So now they can't get to work because I don't know where the husband worked. I don't know where the wife worked, but whatever. They started a GoFundMe. They have upwards of almost, $200,000? So someone contact GoFundMe and see they don't need to get their hands on that money. They told nothing but lies. Where's my girl? My girls, what's the number? I know she has it. How you doing, Mike? The Democratic Party is a party of traitors. Yes, that Somali lady with the bandage on her head is a dirty liar too. Boom. Yeah, she said, oh yeah, no, they hurt her so bad. She and some Indian lady, some Native American Indian lady, they hurt us and they did this and they called me the N-word, and she has some band-aids on her head. I don't believe anything that these scammy Somalians say. They have no credibility in my opinion. I'm sure CPS is run by leftist liberal Democrats too. CJ. Prosperity said lies, yes. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Fleetwood Mac, tell me lies. Nemo, where is my girls? What is the number to the CPS, Child Protective Services? They're in Minneapolis. Where is my girls? She's supposed to be typing the number, dropping the number in the chat like she normally does. She's normally on it and calling the number. Lanita, how you doing, love? Okay, Lanita, tell us what you know. Hit that like button, folks. Prosperity said, shaking my head. Lanita, they're telling so many lies, dear. I can't keep up. Okay. Lanita says, did you hear the latest lie on ICE about the illegal father that got snatched up with his Kenner son? The media's trying to make it seem like they snatched the baby up to catch them. Yeah, Lanita, I heard. Yeah. White liberals don't care about losing their lives for the Democratic Party. Emotional stupidity. Right. Who's going out there in negative 10-degree temperatures? No, ma'am. No, sir. Yeah, Lanita, I'm familiar with that. Why would the N-word bother her? Tijuana. Right. Remember, me no black. Why would the N-word bother her? You and your whole tribe have said since you arrived here in the 90s, me no black, me no. What are you talking about? Why should the N-word bother you? Boom, again. CJ, CPS phone number probably directs you straight to Governor Walz's office, just like the Lyric Center. This chat is off the chain. I love it. Yeah, probably CJ. Oh my God. Where's my girl? Somebody dropped the number to the Minneapolis CPS hotline number. Child Protective Services. See, Nemo, all facts. Yeah, those are all facts. 8675309. When I was talking about phone numbers, that just popped in my head. 8675309. Everybody remember that song? I got it. I got your number on the wall. I got it for a good time call. Boom. All right, I'm going back to the 80s. You know how I operate. Prosperity, Tijuana, that would make them black, and that's why they are. Yeah, prosperity. You better not call them black. They'll honor you will come up missing. Hey, Jones. I warned you, A. Jones. I'll break out into song in a minute. Yeah, and speaking about that phone number made me think about that. Oh my God. Somali Smollett. Woo! Yes. And I every time I see one of those Somalis, okay, look at CJ. I heard that Governor Walz red phone number is 1-800-TAMPON. Agent Orange. How you doing, Agent? Hit that like button, love. Yeah. Oh my God. Don't get me started. You know I cannot stop it. I don't know why that song. Hey, Jones. Oh my God. Oh my. Forgive me, A. Jones. I'm sorry. I keep getting songs stuck in your head, but I warned you when you joined. Oh my God. I keep going back to the good old days and when we didn't have all this wokeness. And I guess that's why I keep just going back. Oh my God. Yeah, that was Tommy Two-Tone. That was what, 81? So that's one phone song that I remember with the phone number in it. There was another one I was thinking of. Oh God, I can't remember it. Tijuana, she mentioned the N-word, thinking American blacks would jump on the Somali fraud bandwagon. Tijuana, you're right. We want her and her tribe deported. We don't care. They're doing, Tijuana, they're trying everything to get Black Americans out in the streets. I'm not going. You know I'm not going. I didn't go for any of this crap. I didn't go for George Floyd and any of those marches. I think didn't they have something with Trayvon Martin? Because all of the stories we were told, come to find out when you do a little deep diving, they didn't tell the truth. Robert, yes, they were educated at the Leering Center. Boom. Oh, yeah. Here's a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Yeah, John Cougar. I love John Cougar's music. I don't like his politics, but I like his music. They're trying everything. Nemo. This new Black Panther Party. Those of you just joining us, I watched a video. Agent Orange, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. Don't get me started. Did you see that Sperm Bank's #1 withdrawal is probably Governor Tim Walz for his milkshakes? My milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than your. Don't talk. CJ talking about the milkshakes. Kelly. Oh my God. My girls, I'm singing 8675309 and CJ has me singing Milkshake by Kelly. So I don't know where this chat is off the chain. Okay. Yes, here I am. Rocked you like a hurricane. Yes, I love that song. Yes. Where are we? Rolling. Even Naughty by Nature has a song about life in the streets. It's one of my favorites by them. Oh, okay, Jeremiah. Yeah. And so, okay, Prosperity, here you go. I hope everyone is able to stay warm. Like I said, depending on where you live, we're still waiting for a major snow event. And so hopefully none of you loses electricity or internet. So we'll find out. But just be safe, and like I said, keep your fingers crossed, say a prayer. Hopefully I will not be losing power or internet. Hopefully. So that's where we are. Betty, I'm right in the middle of the snow. Okay, Betty, we're expecting snow, sleet, everything. CJ, you have cabin fever? Once you get started, Shaka Khan. Yes, Shaka. Yes, take on me. Thank you, Miss Connie. If I have power, I will be here tomorrow at 4, dear. Omar's in trouble because I did a video on that, Lanita. Yeah, she lied on everything so she could become a U.S. citizen. And so hopefully, I hope and pray Trump can get her out of here. I really do. Everything about her, you're an obsession. You're my obsession. Yes, I love that song. Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't want to call nobody else. My girls, you were stepped away for a moment. I was asking you to find the number of Minneapolis's CPS department. Yeah, that's what I was asking. So we're pretty much done. My girls, you were supposed to look the number up like you did for the Leering Center and all those other places. And I know my girls will look the number up and she will call. She does that. And I love it. All right. Where are we? Lanita. Oh, yeah. Nemo, I told you. As soon as she gets deported, I will jump on. We'll have a party. Thank you, Charlie. I just received your email. My girls. My girls looked it up. My girls. I was waiting for you to give me the number and I didn't have it. So I just started singing 8675309. And I know you remember that. So anyway, yeah. We'll see how it turns out. And I've been telling you all, stay away from these places. These people are doing a lot. And I'm not going anywhere near these people. Wham. What, 66 degrees? Who's at 66 degrees? Oh my God. Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley. Hey, Jones. Oh my God. That's okay. Like I said, we don't like that people are losing their lives, but they've got to make better choices. And that's all we can say it. That's all we can say. And you know, that it is what it is. I gave you my review. And you tell me what you think. One 800-LL-Cool-J. I don't remember that. I don't think that was unless I missed it. May have been. I don't want to say no. You tell me, right? I'm not sure, so I don't want to say no until I check it out, and I haven't had time to check it out. Yeah, 777-9311. By the time, keep us updated on Mama and Pop. Yeah, my girls, when I get off from here, I'm going to do a little research and see, because they're trying. My girls, you weren't here last night. All of you who can, get on the GoFundMe. I showed you in last night's video. You can go on there and stop them from getting that money. It was all a lie. It was a ruse. They did nothing but lie from the jump. Me too, Lanita. You want a love to last forever, one that will never fade away. Where's Tijuana Border Jumper? I want to help you with your problem. Stick around. I say it's coming up like a flower. It's coming up. It's again. Me again. Okay. So yeah, we're done, folks. Please stay warm. You want a friend you can rely on, one that will never fade away. And if you're searching for an answer, stick around. I say it's coming up like a flower. It's coming up. Thank you, Greg. I'm trying. I'll have a special guest on tomorrow. I received a text message from a Adrienne Wright. She's of the is it the Chicago Republican Women? I forgot what her exact position is because it's been a while since we talked. You gave me promises. Yes, Michael. So Sunday, tomorrow, if I have internet, if I have power, I will have a guest on tomorrow. And everyone, please stay safe and warm. That would be my prayer for you. And we're going to get out of here. And just know, you can go your own way, but I want you to come back here tomorrow. You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. Jeremiah 1-900 LL Cool J. Walk. I remember the Walking with the Panther. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get off from here. I've been stuck in the middle with you for a couple of hours now. So, of course, that's by Steelers Wheel. All right. Thank you all. Please be safe. And I'll be here tomorrow. If I'm not here, that means I lost power or I lost the internet. But as soon as I am able, I will leave you a message in the community tab to let you know exactly what is going on with me. So you're not worried. Okay. I love you. Be safe. I hope and pray I will be here with you tomorrow. If not, just check the community tab. And again, I'll tell you what's happening. And, you know, if I'm without power, if I'm without internet, if I'm without power, I will have to leave here and go to a hotel because it's too cold to be without heat. Nemo, you too, dear. And so that I just wanted to be, you know, very transparent so that you know about the weather situation here. And I wanted you to know I will be here if I can. The idiot that attacked the IC nurse. Okay, I will do that. I'll check into that and I'll upload a short on that later. Thank you, Prosperity. Because I wanted to walk. I tried to pull up. I pulled up that what you sent me, but it wasn't talking about that incident. So it may be at another part of the video. Okay, my girls. Thank you, love. Okay. I'm coming to talk to all of you right now in the live comment section. Please come back and leave a comment. That really helps the channel to grow. I love you. Be safe. And I'm coming to talk to you now.